Well, as my late mum used to say, I was born the day war broke out. My mother said to me, and that is true. I do remember the fact that where we lived, because we lived in Bolton, which was out of the way, but I used to see an awful lot of fires, because I remember coming out of the house once and I went into my mum and I said to her, "What's all that red down the bottom of the hill?" She said, "It's the fires." She said the fact that they'd bombed some factory or other. So I do remember that. I also remember the fact we had our own air raid shelter, which my dad made himself. He made that. We had airmen staying with us from, who did the planes. We had airmen staying with us. But I do remember in later years when we had the coupons, and I remember my mum saying, "Go to the co-op, take the coupons, and don't forget the divvy number." I remember that very clearly. So I do remember that.
Was there a general fear? Lots of people we've spoken to were young, and they said because they'd grown up with it, they didn't know any different.
Didn't know any different. Mind you, my late dad, was in what you call the Home Guard. It's a bit like Dad's army, really, because he had a bucket, he had a tin hat, and he had a whistle. And the thing was always held up, and I said to my mum, "What are those used for?" She said, "Well, the bucket's to put out the fire. The whistle is to let everybody know they're going." I said, "And what's the other for?" She said, "Just in case they're needed." I said, "Well, how many fires has he actually put out?" She said, "Not a lot." I said, "Well, what?" It was just in case they came over, he was there ready to help out.
Did he have a uniform?
No, he didn't have. Well, I don't remember if he had a uniform or not, but I do remember those things being held up, the tin hat, the whistle, and the bucket. And I was just laughing, thinking to myself, "You're not going to put much fires out with a bucket."
So last question, do you have any recollection of any family members that may have been in any of the forces at all?
Not here in England. My late mum's brother was in America, and he was in the forces in America, and apparently he got put in what's called the glass house, as my mum told me. I said, "Why is that?" She said, "He was servicing one of the planes." I said, "Well, what's that got to do with it?" She says, "He forgot to put the brake on." I said, "Oh, does that mean it was a mess?" She said, "Yes, he was put in what was in like jail, but it was called the glass house. He was servicing it." But that was in America. But as regards anything else, no, because all my mum's side of the family, they were all in America. It was only my dad's side that were here. But they were all in Bolton anyway. It wasn't till after the war that, because they had a business in Bolton, they all stayed in Bolton or wherever it was until we moved after the war to where we came to, Prestwich, at the time when I was living.